It was only a matter of time before Mother Gothel would try to intervene in relation to her daughter and remind her daughter that she's been in. The relationship is only between her and God, and then later makes remarks about her daughter's relationship, and then make this whole situation all about herself. While commenting on the above situation, a man is there, not a financial plan. Robyn Brown attempts at interfering in Aurora's relationship. On the surface, was supposed to be an affectionate scene between mother and daughter. Mother and Arshasen, daughter whom her mother still hasn't let her marry, to move out of the house. And now that daughter is growing some independence, the mother seems to be threatened by the boyfriend and appears not to approve of him. I mean, maybe it's just because of Brody's not from the cult. Maybe it's because her daughter is also making her some decisions. Perhaps it is because she is not capable of control it, but it's not going to stop Robyn from trying to plant some seeds of doubt while also, talking about herself and relating it to herself. Daughter. Yeah, because Robyn 100% used Kody for his money. Therefore, in this scene, they're making cookies because of Robyn. Enjoys spending alone time with her kids when Kody is away traveling. And, in the course of this, Robyn goes on to explain that and Brody are a real couple. Excited about our trip. Yes, very excited. Brody's graduating from basic training, and so we're going to go out and visit him. By now, they've been dating a year. It's not a situationship. They've labeled it. The guys are looking at this from a the perspective of possible, truly, long-term. Yes, praying about it like literally, constantly. I want to give Aurora the chance to live her life on her own planet. It is my own. What I find so strange about this is that it is like in person with Aurora. She's like, y'all or think. The music skips, long-term, right? And then she's, for example, from Aurora. Yes, we're praying. This looks like a religious mother. It's like such as dumping the guilt on the woman, daughter. And it's so weird because then in the one-on-one, or in her talking, head Robyn's like she wants Aurora to find herself alone, which is quite strange. Because, like you want your daughter, one student explained to, in order to find herself alone, you would give her an opportunity to move out or have her move out. Tell her to go get a place. Tell her to have some independence. Don't keep her locked in a cage. Robyn needs a real one. The kind that a lot of validation, I think, from her kids because it fuels like her supply. Maybe, I think that she believes this. Maybe her kids as an extension of herself. Perhaps she has her own regrets over not finding herself and finding a guy very in the early years and later being engulfed in that. Maybe she's controlling the kids for so long she thinks she gets to have an input in this matter. But it's just so weird to me that, like the talking head, she's like, I want her to live on her, my own. I want her to discover herself. Sure, you do. You do. You want her to herself, right? But in the talking head, you're already laying the groundwork. That you're indirectly saying that I don't think this guy is the right guy. Because if you approved of him, you wouldn't say this. In plural marriage in our church is acceptable. For you to you could consider everyone, pretty much. I remember being with my dad on a car ride one time. I remember you're 8 years old. Suddenly, I was overwhelmed by the Spirit of God, and I couldn't speak, tears streaming down my face, and I felt God saying, this is your person. This is your forever. This is who I brought to you. This is who you're supposed to be with. This is the family you are expected to be with. I realize that this scene is twofold. This is Robyn's money laundering attempt for a story. She is not a homewrecker because it was acceptable for her. I think anyone in the church they came from because polygamy, and that because she could pick anyone, she is not a homewrecker. Furthermore, the fact that she chose to be with Kody wasn't actually her choice. It was God. It was God sending her a tease message while she was driving with Kody, telling her that this is her person. Thus, she may claim that she did not really her decision to home wreck. It was God's choice. God asked her to tear apart a family. God had chosen her to bring her kids into dysfunction. God had intended her to live an illegal lifestyle. God wanted her to use all her skills to sabotage a whole family. And thus, because God said so, and because it was a divine revelation from God, because she is prophetess, right? She's so godly, so godly, godly. She is not a home wrecker. Not a homer, you guys. It was God's to divine. Guess we'll see, huh? Yeah, I guess we'll see. It's really between you and God and Brody to a certain extent. Between me, myself, and God. So therefore, that's why Brody. And then for Brody, it's between him, God, and me. A man ought never to be a financial plan for a woman. But also, it's like confidence and a matter of like figuring out who she is before she's a mom. It's like just kind of knowing what you think and feeling like you're doing the best you. Love before your wife or mother. You have been lost in those roles many times as woman. Robyn is seriously sowing seed of doubt in this talking head, right? And then, why is she saying this about a man? Should not be considered a financial plan for a woman? What is she like? Planting that seed as if that alone is sufficient. Why Aurora is interested in Brody. By the way, basic training, soldiers do not earn much money. Therefore, is it that she's not happy with the fact which Brody won't have a wide, massive income? I'm very confused by her, but did she literally say with a straight face that she had come to the face that a man should not be a financial plan? Robyn, from the first introductory meeting, had the first chapters of Becoming Sister Wife. If and when I are married again, I wouldn't care less. But how my husband looked, none of the superficial stuff mattered to me anymore. Either my husband would be old or young, fat or skinny. I just didn't care as long as he was a good man and a good husband. I wanted someone whose sole priority was looking after his family. I knew that anyone who was interested in learning more about the stock market this job would have to demonstrate himself, and did so completely, was caring, unselfish, and strong. I was not any chances. It meant that she didn't care what he looked like, how old he was provided that he was unselfishly caring for her, meaning providing for her. Robyn seems to be searching for a financial plan. And then later in the in the same book that she says what she wants is a husband that will take care of her, she also speaks about her mom not supporting her. My mom was not. Relationship with Kody. Of all my mom, among my relatives, struggled the most with my choice. And she still blocks my posts on her Facebook page because she doesn't want to respond to the intrusive questions that would follow. She was ready to share as openly about her beliefs as I am. When I told her about the show, she worried that I was putting my children in harm's way. I was especially concerned for their welfare since my first marriage was destructive and unstable. I was only just beginning to unpick how to be a single mom. She felt that I was acting irresponsibly and not considering my children. This was hard on me to listen to, and I understood her concerns, but I also knew that I was bringing my children into most wonderful family I had ever seen, and by giving them the best father possible. Thus, she acknowledges that her mother had been concerned about her actions, about her bringing her kids into this family, appearing on a television show, and the negative effect this would have on the kids, partially because of their convictions in this cult. But the other part, like you are bringing your children right into this chaos, right? And she's just getting her footing as a single mom. So, really, what it sounds like here is that Robyn is projecting her own insecurities to her daughter, who is a fully capable woman who does not have children and isn't bringing kids into a chaotic circumstances. No, that was Robyn who did that. That was Robyn that was hang gliding down there. Irresponsible. And then this is another testament to what her motives were with marrying Kody several years before I married Kody, during which time I was in my absolute low point in my life. I made a absolute low point in my life list of all the things I wanted to accomplish. As everything was going so well, badly for me at the time, I encouraged myself to dream big. Here's what was on my list: change the world, meet Oprah, write a bestseller, and own their own business. I look back at that period now and think, Be careful what you wish, for you might catch it, and then it may be something you don't want. Ca. Never underestimate the positive role of religion in society. Effects of sister wives, but there are days when I wake up and say to myself, I don't want to do this anymore. I want everything to go back to normal. Oh, here. Being in TV has really changed my coming into the family. Sadly, during the first season, many of our fans cast me as a home wrecker out to demolish Mary, Janelle, and Christine. Isn't that funny? Isn't that exactly what happened? It sounds like Alice, Robyn's mom, told her some advice to perhaps establishing herself before she was drawn into a situation that she knew nothing to do with it. And Alice might have a hunch that maybe what was happening was something that was going on at Kody's house. She had also wanted to, but Robyn plays the victim and say like, I did anything wrong. I brought my kids into this amazing family. And then it was a couple years ago, basically. She said that the whole family was horrible and they made her family terrible, and her kids are so abused as this word. They don't even want to get married. And now that her daughter finally has a powder relationship when I was 23, not 16, not 15, not even 14, 23, her daughter, who I'm pretty confident has graduated from college, who is also capable of having a full-time job. I don't, because then she would have the ability to take care of herself as she is still living with her mom and dad, because she's apparently being coddled and controlled by her mom. Her mom is like planting these seeds, like somehow it's not Kody. And it's not Aurora and Brody's decision. It's really between Aurora and God. And Aurora states the painfully obvious, a point of stating that she's not doing something because she's this without Brody, and that of the two, then will make a joint decision, subtly sort of tapping down her mom, right? But if I were Aurora, I'd be kind, annoyed by my mom's entire scene with me so that she can try launder her reputation by reframing her as the pious woman who received a vision from God about Kody, right? And that she had a bursting bosom, so excited at the prospect of being Kody's wife that she would turn this into. Aurora does not seem ready to be a wife. Aurora is not ready to be a mother. Aurora needs to know herself before she does those things. Maybe because Robyn is projecting her own regrets onto her daughter. You know, you can still love your child instead of smothering them. You is less than, Python, tag, is greater than, is less than, start, header, ID, is greater than, can still love your child and not make statements like, a husband's not a financial plan. Yeah, Robyn, we've seen what your financial plan was. It was a husband, and then suggest that like, there's a chance that this man may not good enough, but first of all, that Aurora is only doing this because she wants a financial plan. Does she? To have such a low opinion of her daughter that she doesn't think her daughter is capable of making her own choices? And poor Brody, this poor kid. There's a woman appearing on national television, basically planting the seed that he's a loser that doesn't make enough money. Since he is in the military, you want to bet if this guy was from the cult and made a ton of money, she'd be all for. Tim, do you want to bet whether he was like a good fundamentalist Mormon who had a construction firm and a mansion? She'd be all down with Aurora going that route, right? But because it's Brody, who are in the military and won't be able to provide Aurora the lifestyle that she wants, she's like begging on him and then begging on her daughter and acting as in her daughter's not capable of making her own decision. This is the one that she has been waiting for, opportunity she has to like be happy for her daughter and permit her daughter to spread her wings, and she's still finding a way to like steal her thunder and try to like sow seeds of doubt. You know, one of Aurora's cousins, told me this. He said she was close with Aurora when they were living in Pinedale, and she said that for a long time after she said, moved, she would do these like Zoom calls with Aurora, and that Preston, the dad, would sneak on because Robyn would just come looking for us, interfere, and just not let them talk on the thing via phone or even like via Zoom. And he missed his kids, and the kid and that. They are always highly coached whenever Again, Robyn interfered. But as Aurora would, call Robyn Mother Gothel, and she said she felt like she was being like, you. No, suffocated and controlled and not, was allowed to live her life. I mean, at this stage, Aurora might as well be Cinderella Cuz. I'm sure Aurora has to do a lot of housework. I'm sure because, since she's the oldest daughter, she must to help take care of her younger siblings. I'm sure that there's a lot of responsibility on her. And then she has to deal with her mother's emotional immaturity and complexes, which dysfunctional marriage, all while being reality TV shows, and find a way to justify that this guy that her adopted is somehow a catch. Robyn is the worst mom, and she literally just sucks. And I have sympathy for Brody. He is a good guy. But according to Robyn, is not a financial measure. She must find herself, i.e., I don't approve of. Brody, it's so obvious. You, guys. Oh, she's so obvious. Well, what are your thoughts about this? Tell me in the comments below. Please ensure that you offer these reasons in your argument for this video a thumbs up. Please subscribe to my channel in case you haven't subscribed, and click the bell if you never miss, so you never miss a video.